Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to an unboxing, unbagging, and building little demo of the 75288 8080 Walker. I have split this into two videos. Usually I'd kind of mix it all into one with my review video, but it's just made it way too long, so I've separated it into two videos to make it a lot easier. The review video will be up soon, and yeah. Now just a quick look at the back of the box. On most Star Wars 2020 Summer Wave sets, you will see this little sticker. Well, it's not a sticker, but this little box saying "Play it in Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga," and it's on a lot of the sets. Even in, I think it's even on Final Duel. Like it's on a couple of sets that are a bit. They are not walkers or anything, so that's interesting. And the game has not been released yet, but we will find out exactly what that means whenever it comes up. I think it comes with a code, and I'm not sure where that code is. It's probably in the instruction books. This is only hearsay. I've not read into this myself, but this is just what I've heard. Now, a little look at the back of the box. Here you can see the inside. It comes with 6 seats, but only, as I said, 2 snowtroopers. Thanks, Lego. It shows that there are spring-loaded shooters. Nice feature there. It shows that the back can open up to house a speeder bike, which is nice. And it also shows a little new technique they brought in, which is the string being able to be retracted, so it looks like Luke Skywalker is actually using his zip line correctly, which is a nice feature, I think, there. We also have a little bit of action, and of course the final part, we have the cockpit opening up, which all nice and lovely. All nice to see on there. It's good that they always add in a little bit more of the description, because the box is just the Lego set animated, and whereas I do like that, it's always good to just look at the back of the box and see what you're really getting. There is, for example, a Batman set I can think of on the shelves at the moment that I just couldn't understand until I looked at the back of the box and then figured out exactly what it was, just like a lot of other sets. And from the back of the box to the unbox, now I will say, no thumb tabs, which I love. Okay, let's get to it. Okay, so here we've got 6, 7. We've got a total of 8 unmarked, 8 bags, numbered bags. We've got 1 instruction manual, 1 very thick instruction book covered in plastic. Love it. Love it when they do that. They usually do it with the bigger sets to keep it nice and fresh, and I usually put it straight back into the plastic when it's finished with the bigger sets to keep them nice. What? Where are these going to go? Oh, I'm a sucker for hidden bricks of that colour. Okay. So, bag number 1, we've got, I think, 2 interesting pieces. Apart from, minifigures are always kind of interesting pieces because they change the whole time. But we've got 2 real interesting pieces. This one, which is pretty exclusive to Star Wars Lego. It's been in Ninjago a couple of times, alright, yeah. But like, the main thing is, I'm thinking they did it in a slightly different colour, or maybe even a slightly different mould, because the number I'm finding online for it does not match up with the number I'm finding in the back of the book for it, which is a really long number, which you can see here. But there's like 20 something in online for the Ninjago sets, which makes me think it's a slightly different colour in this one, and it's a new piece. But if it's not, then it's a piece from 2015 that has only really been integrated into the Star Wars sets now. Another piece I will say that is interesting is this one. I think I've seen it before, but I haven't seen it in a long time. It's interesting. It looks kind of like a stud shooter, but kind of like the old, what I called traffic lights. It has studs everywhere, and then also has the hole underneath to kind of stick a stud into, which is quite interesting. Otherwise, you just got normal enough kind of pieces around there that you've seen before. You've got, something I love about this is you've got 2 different heads for the same snowtrooper. So one is this guy and one is this guy. They're 2 different people, but they both work together. They're not clone troopers, and it is a lot more accurate And another piece I will say that is kind of unusual. I've only seen it once. I've only seen it in the 501st Battle Pack, but it's been out a couple of years. Again, it's just another interesting piece. Everything else then I think is fairly standard. We've gotten cool pieces, alright, and kind of rare enough pieces, but again, they're not new. So that's, good impression off bag one, and I'll come back to you when it's built. So, at the end of bag one, we are finished. I will say this is probably my favourite little mini build to date with any set, because just based on the fact that every single part of it is one of my favourite pieces at this stage. You've got a black lightsaber hilt on the top, you've got this little funky piece, you've got the piece I was talking about earlier that went on the top of the 501st gun. You've gotten the gun part here that I was talking is half gun, half traffic light looking thing. You've gotten this skateboard thing up here, the skateboard shoe, if you will. And you've gotten, these were used as Deadpool's guns at some stage. And this weird piece I was talking about earlier. At the end of bag one, I'm left with the elusive orange brick separator. The rarest piece of them all. And I am then left with the spares over here, which is a nice selection because, spare lightsaber hilt there, spare black lightsaber hilt, even though I don't use it as a lightsaber hilt if it's black, and a spare thermal detonator. I always feel like those kind of parts are an actual spare weapon, which is just kind of fantastic, and I love the little frying pans, I have to say. And whether they're frying pans or not, they can be used as frying pans. Okay, so we have two pieces of interest here, I think. We'll start off with the small section because there's no pieces of interest. Just a little zoom up on the small section because there's nothing really that interesting. We've seen all of that before, all of the colours before, and all the pieces. Still nice to see them all being used. Now, on the big side, we have two new pieces. As soon as I saw this, I was thinking, this is new, and definitely has been in the cyan. I was right, it was in the cyan. I didn't build the cyan yet. Please, I really want to build the cyan. But, it's kind of new. It's new to 2019, 2020. It has been in 9 sets. So yeah, that's a thing. It's also been in Yoda. The recent big build, the UCS build of Yoda, which is quite interesting. But I've never seen it before, and it's looking quite interesting because it is. You've seen this piece before with studs on the top and with a place for the anti-studs on the bottom, but this just doesn't have that at all, which I find interesting. Now, this piece, I cannot find anything about this online, so I'm assuming that it's new. Bricklink won't show anything about it. They show that it exists alright, but they don't show when it was released, and they don't show what sets it has been in. And the same for Brickset. I can't find it at all on Brickset, and I've never seen it before. So hopefully this is a new piece and I'm not wrong, but it's definitely a new piece to me. So that's another interesting part about this bag opening. And to be honest, I think the only part, well, arguably the only part, because these parts, they're one of my favourite parts for the simple reason they're very good for holding minifigures on, and usually they come in black for your minifigure stands. But yeah, that's just another thing I want to kind of throw in there. Otherwise, pretty standard enough pieces and pretty standard enough colours. So, we're finished bag 2. I can say so far it's a nice and sturdy frame. Hopefully that will help act as a handle, because that's all connected in with Lego Technic pieces. You can't really see in through it at the moment, but I assure you it is definitely a lot of Technic so far. So far we've got a few play features coming out that you can, hopefully, because I've been wrong before about what things are. I'm assuming this is the back for whatever the speeder bike. And we've of course got the wheels, because the AT-AT wheels are very important. And we've gotten 2 spare parts, just 2 this bag. And again, I love the translucent pieces, but that's pretty much all for this bag. Bag number 3. We'll start in the big side, and on the big side we've got this piece here. Looks kind of interesting. It is 2019. It has mainly been in Lego Technic sets, like cars and stuff like that. I think it's kind of exclusive to Star Wars with this set. And yeah, here we go with that one. We've gotten our string for later on. And we've gotten the wheel that it wraps around, which is always good. You know, having a yin to a yang there. And pretty much that's it for this part. For the big parts, I mean, you've gotten your rubber piece here. You've seen this before. And we'll bring you a close-up of that. You've seen them before, I'm sure. I've seen them on a few Bionicles, actually, and a few Star Wars sets in my time. And also, this piece is just weird. Not interesting or new. Just a bit weird. I think I've seen it before. I suppose that's kind of it. You can get it kind of like this piece as well. It's kind of interesting. But again, I wouldn't really be buying this set alone for the interesting pieces. You're probably better just bricklinking some. Onto the small side, we have... The only thing that popped out to me really was these being orange. I mean, why, Lego? What's going on here? Like, are they... I don't understand. They're the exact same as our little blue friends wherever they were. But I'm not sure why. Because there's definitely no orange on the AT-AT. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I love it. I do love it. I love the fact that Lego throws in all these mad colours, because it's kind of what Lego is. It's not really to make particular models of things. It's actually just to, you know, be creative and do some stuff. But like, we have also this piece, which was... I seen it first in the 4th of July promo. No. May the 4th promo. For 2020. And it was in black. It was kind of... It helped for the wings on the TIE Interceptor. That's all I can really say about that, to be honest. It's interesting. It's only two stud instead of 3 stud as per usual, and then another 2 there. And this piece, I think, is either as old as the hills or has evolved from something very old. Just before I go on, I found another interesting piece. I haven't seen this piece since the Bionicles were still around. Otherwise, that's it for the opening of bag 3, and I'll come back to you when it's finished. So, at the end of bag 3, and it's coming along nicely. Something I will say I liked about this part of the bag was adding these parts on. They have a little bit of lag there, a little bit of space there, but you can close that back up, and it actually looks very nice the way they did that, and they've kind of started tiling off a little bit of it, which is nice to see. I'll give you another side there. One thing I will say is I've done this part, right? So if you want, it's just this part, and it was difficult. I think it'd be difficult enough for a kid to do. I had to get Shannon to do it because her fingers are smaller than mine, and I just wasn't able to tie the knot. You have to tie one knot and then you pull and it's gone. So you have to tie about 3 or 4 knots, 5 even, as many as you can. And the same with up here, tying it onto this part as well. But I will say it's still a good system. Like the way it works is still good. But again, like, I'm putting it through here, this little hole that it goes through did prove difficult because it had to go through the whole thing, and it wasn't that easy, but I got over it. Leftover pieces, we have 3 pieces over here, and now going on to bag 4. So bag number 4, there is nothing interesting in this. I mean, you could argue the only thing interesting is this, because they use it in the 501st Battle Pack, but it came out in 2010. It's not new. It's not, unusual. In the small side, we have much of the same. In just nothing really there, to be honest. It's all standard enough pieces, standard enough colours, and nothing really interesting that we've not seen before. Moving on swiftly to the finished piece. So we're at the end of bag 4, and again it's coming along nicely. You can see there some of the play features are starting to appear in the works at the moment. surprisingly enough, no spare pieces left over at all. Not any small pieces, not any big pieces. Well, there's never big pieces for it, but no spare pieces at all. Now, on to bag number 5. Bag number 5. And nothing too interesting, to be honest again. Most interesting thing I would find in this bag is the colour of these. They're not quite brown, they're not quite orange, they're like kind of a mix between two different colours. Like they're nice, they're a nice colour. Just slightly confusing colour. Otherwise it's an ordinary enough piece, and there's loads of just base plates there, and on the small side we got, again, nothing that interesting or unusual. Sure, I'll give you an update when it's finished. Bag 5 finished. Still coming along fairly nicely, but I've reached a massive problem. I'm missing a piece. So, as you can see, this part here it's big. It's not exactly a small stud. It's nothing tiny, you know. I'm missing it. They didn't put it in the bag. I have everything else to finish off the rest of the door, but it's literally the only part I need to finish off this bag. So it's extremely disappointing, because I was really excited for this, and I just wanted it to be ready. You know, I wanted it to be perfect like the rest of the sets have been. But, you know, it's just that it goes without saying that their quality control has kind of been slipping lately with printing and with stuff going in, because I've heard it happening quite a lot with the recent bags, that people have been missing pieces, and it's just, you know, it's probably to do with the COVID, you know, something, you know, but I don't know. On to bag 6, and just really quickly here, we've got a couple of interesting pieces. These pieces, not new, not rare, just uncommon, if you like. They are counterparts. They go into each other, I am guessing there, because it's the only thing that makes sense at the moment. One's in dark grey and one's in bright grey, and one of these, well, not one, but we have a couple of these. This piece was actually released in 2019, so still relatively new, in the later part of 2020. And I love the magenta. I love the colour. I just really do. I think it's going to be hidden somewhere, and I'm going to know about it, and I'm going to be the little bit of pink in that AT-AT that nobody else knows about, that comes over to see it. But yeah, for the big side, that is pretty much it, unfortunately. But, you know, we've gotten a few pieces already, and for the small side, pretty standard enough parts. Just kind of unusual, the fact they have that green 4x4 circle, green 2x2 circle in there. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty standard pieces, and we'll see what the end of this bag holds in 2 sec. Found both of the coloury parts. They're both in the foot, the green part and the magenta part in the very bottom of the foot, and I'm assuming that it's going to be all like plated up and stuff. But just so you all know, it's not a secret. The secret is out, and I've just told everybody. Yep, completely covered. And at the end of bag 6, it's really starting to look like an AT-AT, but one that skips leg day. And we have 2 pieces left over. Yeah, it looks quite sturdy because it has loads of Technic. In fact, the whole set has loads of Technic involved in the whole thing. But particularly like around here, it's gotten reinforced. Technic pins are everywhere. You see there. And our little colourful friends are hidden away there in the feet. Yeah, no, it's a very good. It looks very strong. It looks very sturdy. It looks like it will be very posable and very strong once it's finished. Bag number 7. Nothing too interesting, to be honest. Nothing too unusual. All standard enough pieces. Here's the small side. Yeah, we'll get you an update at the end of the bag. I gotta say, I love how I've often taken this one off, that's why there's a tactic pin stuck in it, but I do love how they just kind of slot in like that, because you got a nice kind of bulky enough build. It's a sturdy enough build, small but sturdy, and then yeah, push it in there. One-handed is a bit more difficult. Hold on. And then it's the same with these up on these parts here. So you just stick it in there. Just click it in there. And it makes it look pure. It makes it look nice. Let's see there. Bag 7 finished. Here we go. It was literally just the outsides for the legs, and then just finishing them all off, making them all stronger. As you've seen there, he has not skipped leg day. He has actually done his leg day, which is fantastic to see him doing the work, you know. At the end, we're left with two spare pieces, and now we are on to bags 8. Bag number 8, nothing too unusual. Maybe you could argue that these pieces are, but they're released in 1998 or something like that, or 89 even. But yeah, again, here's the big parts. Nothing too unusual there. Of course, the minifig helmets and stuff are, but we never really do that one on this. And there's your small pieces list, and again, nothing too unusual there. This is bag 1, and I'll show you bag 2 now. And here in the middle is the contents of bag 8, number 2, the smaller bag of the two. And again, nothing too unusual, apart from maybe the minifigure pieces, but again, we don't usually touch on that in this one. So we'll get, while I'm here, this piece, there should be 4 more of these, and they should go right there under behind this, because as you can see, there is a kind of gap there, and it just looks a small bit, if dare I say, gammy. But I'm sure I can just buy 4 of these, put them in there, and make it look a bit more sturdy. But you know, it's like you get what you're given. So we'll give you an update at the end of this bag. So I'm at the end of bags 8. And we can see our 3 new additions to the Imperial Forces we have here, and our spare parts. And I don't want to show you it. I want it to be a surprise. I really do. But our spare pieces then for the entire set we have here. If you want a bit of a better look at them, not sure why you would, not sure why you wouldn't, because they're nice pieces. They are. There's a thermal detonator in there, which I said earlier I feel like is a spare weapon, and you could argue the lightsaber hilt is the same. You could store that somewhere. And again, I don't want to show you it, because I want it to be a surprise. It's beautiful. It really is. I really enjoyed building it. We've got casualties already. Okay, we're finished. We're finished. If you can kind of see it from there, I'm missing a plate there, but I've contacted Lego about it. It's beautiful. It really is. This is all bags 8 here. You got good posability on the head. It doesn't bounce back like I've seen a lot of others do. Like it kind of does. Maybe here at the neck back here is where it stops, because there's one of them rubber pieces in there. But the head itself actually has great posability from the neck attachment around here. Yeah, I suppose I really enjoyed building the head, actually. I really did. It's a very solid kind of structure, and to be honest, I will say that it's not like I'm pushing down here to try and kind of put enough force in there to get a minifig in, and the back legs are kind of lifting, but it's not falling over, you know. We'll get on to the proper review now, though, after we, you know, tend to our poor pilot here and get him all seen to.